What up, my squeaks? Ruinous Man Thing here with part, I want to say 15 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Throt the Unclean Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, we have attacked and destroyed the armies of the Bone Rattlers. I don't believe they have any on the map remaining now, and generally speaking, they're having a pretty bad time. And the same thing, I suppose, can be said of the Kislevites, and though they're still fighting back, and because of the fact that they have 3 legendary lords in one faction, just keep spawning and respawning, but we'll beat them back and hopefully take over all of Kislev and make it into a bigger Helpit. And, well, we're very much on the way to doing that. In terms of what we gotta do this turn, there is absolutely nothing. We are waiting outside of Dushika, the capital of the Bone Rattlers, with their pretty elite garrison with all those monsters and black orcs, and we're gonna end the turn and we're going to have some good old-fashioned fighting. So let's do it. The enemy failed to spot your ambush. I honestly forgot about this happening, but yeah, those guys are dead. We'll just auto-resolve it. There's absolutely no need to fight this.
You die.
And there we go. As expected, the Bone Rattlers will sally out. I guess we could pop in a couple of the menace below. Do we really need them here? We didn't need them last time. You know, let's get 1 menace below, just in case something manages to get through and charge us. You know, screw, let's get 2. There are a fair bit of boar boys here, and we should probably make good use of our mobility to avoid them getting too many charges in, as the charges would be devastating. That said, our gutter runners run at 85 speed, and the boar boys run at 60, so as long as we pay attention, they shouldn't get caught. Go. Alrighty, here we go. A battle I'd wager will finally be a toughie and a challenge for Mr. Kricroni, just by virtue of the sheer amount of armor and troops amongst the enemy army. The damage isn't going to be so easy coming in on the 4 boar boy biggins, the 2 monsters, the 2 trolls, the 3 black orcs, and then, I don't know, a giant pile of biggins, plus of course the summoned biggins as well. Anyway, the enemy army is big and heading directly towards us. This might actually be the only time I use Crack's Call. So we're going to pop it into the enemy army. Now, I'm actually curious to see how much damage it dealt. Where are you here, Warlock Engineer? So, you got 154 kills and 34,000 damage from a single Crack's Skull. That's actually kind of impressive for 15 mana. I suppose it's because it's magical armor-piercing damage, and again, we do like the armor-piercing, but it also seems to have clipped a couple of the Orc Error boys, which it pretty much destroyed. Speaking of being absolutely destroyed and not in a good way, the Ragnarok attempts to head towards us, but gets brought down just as it nearly reaches our battle line. Would have loved to have gotten a couple of Ragnaroks in a couple of our own armies, but well, what can you do? Not a big deal, I suppose. At the end of the day, it's not like we don't have better monsters in the form of the Hellpit abominations. And our plan didn't really work out with Hazag kind of screwing us over by confederating that faction. I forgot what the Gloomfangs was it? And they were completely safe in that magical forest, completely surrounded by allies, i.e. our territory, and still they got confederated by a relatively weak Hazag. Oh well. Anyway, boar boys charging towards us once again, and let's see if they manage to reach our lines. Nope, we're gonna wait until we can see the, let's say, red of their eyes? Yes, red of their eyes. I was correct on that one. And we'll then just back off. The poor boar boys will get obliterated, but that was pretty much the second last volley that the gutter runners with shuriken have. Nothing left there, and the balance of power is in our favor, but there's still a significant amount of enemies left. All the black orc units remain. One of the units of trolls remain. Several of the units of boar boys remain. And lots of biggins. Alright, well, we're just going to have to keep making use of our speed until we run out of ammunition, and this army is blazing fast. 78 speed on all of the gutter runners. Frankly, the only thing that slows this army down is the Warlock Engineer, which I still feel like the Warlock Engineers need the Doom Flayer mount option. Not the Doom Wheel, but at least the Flare. It would be nice, because, yeah, these guys are pretty darn slow. Could have probably given him a Cloak of... the Forest Cloak? Does that give you stock? I think it might. Gives you Vanguard deployment and stock, I think. Yeah, that might have been useful on you, just so that we could hide you. But the thing is, the Warlock Engineer has to essentially keep pace with the rest of these units so that he can keep providing the buff of... not the extra... well, extra powder, yes, but the... ballistics calibration, wherever... oh, there it is. Ballistics calibration, yeah. Anyway... enemy is still approaching us. Fortunately, it's a rather big map, and we can keep advancing tactically, retreating away from the enemy. Still a fair bit of damage to do to those Black Orcs, though. Alright, and this must be infuriating just how close by our units will run. But the fact is that the enemy can't reach us. 23 move speed on those Black Orcs when they have the net, the Skaven net, whatever, from the gutter runners on them. Snare net, sure. Yeah, they ain't catching these guys. At least until we purposely let them catch us, in the sense that eventually we will run out of ammunition, and then what are we gonna do? What we do have is another Clan Rat drop by the Menace below, which we pop into the center of a bunch of enemy units, and just to distract them, a few more volleys from the slings will hopefully focus down and bring down those trolls, and it looks like our slow-moving Warlock Engineer is backing off. If the enemy wants to blob up like this around the Clan Rats, though, that should certainly be of use to us, as it allow us to focus down the trolls. Admittedly, the giants eat up a lot of ammunition with the massive amount of missile resistance that they have, but eventually that'll get they'll get dropped down too. Next unit of Black Orcs, again, no shield, just great axes. And while their armor is, I'm sure, blocking out plenty of those sling hits, it's not going to be quite enough. And another unit is down. The Clan Rats are, surprisingly not spent yet. I wager that the Biggins are, getting in each other's way, maybe? Anyway, enemy Lord will melt away. We have the Ixis Triad's clone, I believe, the decoy, getting in the way of some more Black Orcs and a unit of Trolls here. Or those Biggins, Black Orcs and Biggins. And they can just keep fighting them for a while. And you note that the Overwhelm application from the decoy still works. Also, looks like our Clan Rats are spent at last, and as soon as they start routing, we'll pop the Veil of Shadows upon this blob of enemies and just keep distracting them, preventing them from reaching our lines. And it looks like the enemy army is melting away. The bounce power is 90% in our favor, and we have maybe 20% of our ammunition left. Of course, we can fight in melee with this army, especially the shuriken units. Okay, the slingers can't really, but the shuriken units have a massive melee attack with a 63, even if their weapon strength is relatively low. So it can certainly do damage. And of course, we have the combination of poison and lethal toxin, and just the issue of us having a no melee defense effectively. So if we charge them into melee, they will take massive damage. Anyway, the Veil of Shadows is still going and keeping so many units back. We just drop a nice Doom Rocket upon them while the slingers continue to do their work, though, by the looks of it, not for too much longer. About 10% ammunition now. And soon enemies will start reaching us. I do see at least 2 units of Boar Boys with about 90% of their HP remaining. Fortunately, the clone unit, the decoy unit, is still causing a pretty big headache for them. And if needed, we do have the Brood Horrors to countercharge them, but it looks like it won't be the countercharge that was needed, more like the chase down, as just as our ammunition pretty much runs out, with the exception of... oh, right, we re-upped the ammunition on this Gutter Runner Slingers unit with that one Engineer's Knapsack we have, but otherwise, everybody's pretty much out. And we win the day with basically no damage upon us, though it was going to be very close. Now we can use our very high melee attack and super speed on our gutter runners. They're effectively cavalry. They're effectively light cav because they're faster than boar boys, which is kind of neat. Man, I wonder if our death runners could run at like 100 speed. Interesting. Anyway, once again, fantastic job from Kronid. Alrighty, there we go. Those poor greenskins never stood a chance, and certainly with the speed this army has, they have a little hope of catching us. Now, if the enemy had 2 full stacks, we were almost completely out of ammunition towards the end of the battle there. That would have been a lot more troublesome, but still, very nasty armies, these Eshin armies, with around 40k and being the height of the damage on primarily the slingers. A little bit more so than the regular gutter runners, although the shuriken gutter runners, we got 27,000 on one of them, which is pretty solid as well. Anyway, we are going to take the money. It's 4,300. Alright, what do we have here? Slicin can have Boommaster. He's just a follower lord of the pile of Skaven slaves, though. I'm thinking that maybe... We have a flash bomb here, which, you know what, maybe we'll take the odd powder keg. There's an army or two which could use one of these, although growth for all provinces isn't too bad either. Granted, 30 isn't much, but that's just, you know what, let's grow all provinces. Maybe that's the better pick. And what do we have here? Bilefitch. Again, with that box of eerie noises, we could get the control, but our control is fine, so we'll investigate the box for like the 50th time for the additional research. Sword of Bloodshed, Malagor discovered, confederation between Bordello Errant and Carcassonne. Card trick as done and Undercity established at Keep of Asavar Cool. Good. And, oh, I didn't even know it could go up here. Well, that's good. Start with a subterranean pit, and there will be other stuff that we could potentially build. Growth vat batch available. Let's pop it in immediately. Slanashi giggle. I just want to get those wolf rats up and running. Lovely. Technologies, we got that expedited, which we have to get towards, but until we do, what's the next thing that we want to pick? Nearly done with the tech tree. Maybe Clan Butcher next for the growth for all armies in region. Well, it's constant casualty or punishment rate is the real good thing here. Hero actions have a 10% chance to grant an ancillary. This is fine. It's just that we don't have a lot of hero actions, but it's essentially 2 per turn, so kind of alright now. Anything nice here? We got an sure quality product, which was the main thing. We could get reject poor recruits, which is also giving them... Oh, right. Enormous caches gives us ammunition for all infantry. We just ran into an issue with that, so maybe we'll do that. It's not like we really care about much of the sort of military tree. We don't really need it. Anyway, I see Ungrim, and I guess we're going to move towards him. Let's pop you into... Are you immune to... Yes, you're immune to attrition, even though it looks like you're suffering it. So you're going to go down here, we'll see what Ungrim does, and then we'll see if we can't catch him. No Slayers in his armor. That's actually pretty weak. I guess we got most of his good stuff. Anyway, you guys can keep on channeling and just stick around right here. Kronid, you can now... Assuming Hellkeek can occupy Dushika, which... and if it isn't Tazag... Alright, so you are going to auto-resolve the... wait. What's your movement range at? I'm just wondering whether you can immediately go to Azag. It looks like you can't, so he'll probably run, which fair enough. Alright, fine. Erase it then, auto-resolve. It won't kill our rats, will it? As in our brood horrors? No. Alright. Erase the place. And then... Channel, I guess, and then Hellkeek you can immediately occupy. I assume you're still in range to reinforce if this guy comes a calling. And we'll see. Colonize. If he can summon a bunch of units, he could probably take one of these territories back, but, well, let's just hope that he can't. Alrighty, who's next? Skittus, you are going to raise Azir Pass. Yes, I believe that was the thing to do, so... Or occupy it and trade it to these guys. Alright, I was gonna do that with the Mammoth Boneyard. I take it nobody else wants to trade still because of our tanked reliability? Yeah, no likelihood of getting any additional trade agreements. Alright, fine, fair enough. Varg, you want the place? It is called something. I just checked it and then I immediately forgot what it was. Mammoth Boneyard. 14k? Nice, then we'll trade him the next one for more money and a trade agreement. Why not? I like it a lot. Wait, how much? Oh wow, this is basically... Okay, it's the money is more worth it directly. There you go, enjoy. We were never going to bother holding on to the place anyway. And then they can have a 0 pass as well after next turn. So, or maybe we'll just occupy it immediately since we don't care about the public order. Pyrrhic Vic? What the heck? Okay, why doesn't the auto-resolve like this army? We have plenty of melee troops. Look, 5 infantry and 5 monsters, and then 4 units of range infantry, 2 units of artillery in the weapons teams. This is a nice balanced army. Why don't you like this auto-resolve? What the heck is wrong with you? Auto-resolve. Okay. I'll loot and call. I'll loot and occupy, rather. Okay. Blight gets a plague furnace. You're a Blight, I take it? You are indeed Blight. Yeah, I don't understand why the auto-resolve hates that army, but oh well, not a big deal. Thankful. You can raise Fort Scaehold, and plus that you can reinforce and then occupy it. I assume that if you reinforce it won't be a... Let's find out. Won't be high damage to your army like this. Decisive victory. It'll kill one of the named plague monks. The rudest thing I've ever seen. Alright, we might manually fight this, or I might do this between the episodes because it's kind of weak. I'll think about it. Also, how's Bone Ripper doing here? Oh, right, the lab upgrades. Ooh, okay, we're at 97. If we get the opportunity to get a little bit more in the way of, I was about to say cash, but food, we should make use of it then. Who wants to... Okay, I say we use Mr. Medible Hemlock to take Perditiona, colonize, a tier 1, and don't collect the income, at least not yet, and then go for the nest layer, and then immediately build up the whatever that was, and then you can start moving onwards, in camp, mind you, towards... Maybe Shaman Darak, and then you wouldn't need to encamp. Alright, go into Castle... Oh wait, Castle Alexandrinov seems broken, so just go past Castle Alexandrinov, and go to Shaman Darak. And you guys can stay here. And in fact, Medible Hemlock might need moving down southward as Castle von Rocken is likely to attack him. You, Fabricgear, are supposed to build 4 Plague Monk Sensor Bearers. I decided to cancel those regular Plague Monks that we had there earlier. And I believe that's most of your army. In fact, this feels like too much. But we'll see. Well, we're here also. Musk of Dominance. I don't like any of these. I wanted the one that's the leadership reduction one, but we don't have that one. Oh well. And I'm not a big fan of these pack masters either. Yeah, take the pack hunter and then take them out. What's our capacity for these guys incidentally now? 21. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Warlock Engineer, we're still no capacity. It's like impossible to get that. And we'll hold off on the sorcerers as well, I guess. At least for now. Alright, well, you're recruiting there for a while, buddy, so keep on recruiting Mutant. You have taken Kazarla, and you are going to go for Zvenelev, whereas the Mutant will proceed and march stands towards Fort Ostrosk. You can colonize Zvenelev at level 1, and then we can immediately build some stuff here. Like so. And then lovely. Alright, you can proceed to Fort Ostrosk, and then you can move down here together with Mutant to hopefully occupy Fort Ostrosk. You know what, just, I don't think there's anybody to punish you for being closer to it, so go here. You can steal tech while you're at it. Like so, with a success, since we have that tech, that increases our capabilities of doing so. Lovely. Alright, you guys can take care of all of that. Thankful, I will deal with you in a bit. Skit twice, Pustich, or Remamute and Absit. You're kind of stuck where you are. Who's Pustich again? Oh, this guy. Bilefitch is... I mean, we could besiege Bechofen. I doubt that they'd sally out. We could besiege it. Who knows? Maybe Elspeth will show up. See what happens here. And then we will do this. And John Pile of Skaven saves, you can move on and to reinforce. Alrighty. And yes, that's way too many rat ogres, but some of them came from this army, which was supposed to have 4. I kind of like that. And otherwise, you can just besiege. I take it you can't auto-resolve this. Valiant defeat. I doubt they'll sally out, but the AI has a history of underestimating the Skaven, so who knows. Alrighty, the rest of you are looking good, minus Mr. Mormel, who is still proceeding to Draika's territory, and I guess we'll go via Karakungor rather than where we currently are on the other side. Anybody after Mormel? Absent, we've moved. Vermamute has moved, or is not supposed to move. A rat still amuses me tremendously. Contagic is fine. Fabricgear is fine. Alright, then we got Heroes. Boilerin. He's supposed to head southward to join Mormel for now, at least until we can get him one of these guys. An Eshin Sorcerer moved down here. Engine Bolt, odd name for an Eshin Sorcerer, but sure, why not? Yeah, you can come down here. A Hull Scurry Flesh Cutter. I don't remember whose army you're supposed to be. Oh, you're supposed to be in Fabricgear's army, aren't you? Alright, go to Fabricgear's army then. And then Bok, you are another Packmaster who will, I'm sure, join another army, but we'll wait for another Packmaster as well. Scout, keep on scouting for more potential trade agreements and allies. Looks like these two for now. And then well, not Bok, Titchit. You are going to set up that special Undercity, and then you, Rat Burglar, are going to steal tech. Wait, just want to double check. Can you actually set up an Undercity here? Yes. Good. Alright, steal tech. Maybe one... Oh, failure? Oh, come on, man. This was not the time. Granted, it's never really the time, but, you know. Still down. Anyway, I believe we're good. Let's do building real quick. Gates of Hell. Let's start from the bottom. Gulf of Kislev. Yes, upgrade all those lovely ports and saltworks and... Ooh, gotta choose between food and Taskmaster's platforms. It's a small territory, though, so I think we have to go for the Taskmaster platforms. Fallen King Mountain will trade, so we don't care about. And Goranich will get buffed up and built up. Let's go for the breeding stock again. Or do we want to maximize the growth here since it's a new territory? You know what, I must maybe go for the Rattling Warrens instead. And just so that the place, since it's a new location, will build up quickly. This place will need to be traded, so let's just build it up a teens. Well, we're probably going to trade it next turn, but you know what, we'll see if it's worth it. Dushika, we're holding on to, so go for the storage caves, then build it up. And I believe... Ooh, help it. Oh, right, fourth circle. Yeah, we're not upgrading that. At least not at 10k, at least not right now. Let's go for Uvetson instead here, and go for the combination of the construction cavern. You know what, I think it's time to start building the clan summits everywhere. Probably a critical thing now. Especially since we can afford them, so wherever we have space in the higher tier settlements, we'll do that. We will spend the 10k on you, because we had 5, and then we'll upgrade the... as in 5... surplus, and then we'll grow the other place afterwards. This place is fine. Karakungur, yes to the tier 4. Frozen Coast, yes to the food. East Giant Hill Mountains, Krakadrak, yes, this is why we invested in you, because you'll pay dividends eventually with a gem mine, or whatever the Skaven like to call it. Actually, what do the Skaven like to call it? Gem Cutter's Workshop. Huh. I feel like that needs a more ratty name. Anyway, let's see. Anything else that needs to be built? Still have a little bit of money, but I think I'd rather save it. Minus this will build you up at Kislev. And first circle. We could just build this stuff up and then never have to build anything here again. But it'll take all of our money, so we could always do that next turn. Anyway, do we bother attacking with Thanquil right now, or do we wait the turn? It's not like we're in any hurry. Maybe once this stuff has been constructed, the auto-resolve will let us not bother with this, because it's a waste of time. Well, let's skip, and let's see what happens. Oh, go figure, this little pile of man-things will actually sally out. Alright, I don't mind. You think we can give them a fight? Let's see how they do against rat ogres and plague claw catapults. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Kill him indeed with Plague Claws. A big old volley of Plague Claws that straddles maybe half of the map. That's gotta be a pretty darn scary sight, and I'm sure the Imperials are getting a little bit of taste of their own medicine, because it's almost like getting hit with a Hailstorm rocket battery barrage. I do like with the sheer number of Plague Claws that you can stretch them out across the entire enemy front line. It's a pretty neat thing that you can do. You can't do that with the Hailstorm rocket batteries, at least not to this degree with so few units. Though again, they have so much splash damage that maybe that doesn't really matter, because they're an obnoxious unit as well. Anyway. Enemy is going to charge towards us. We have a big old pile of Skaven slaves ready to defend as soon as they close the distance, and while we are firing upon anything and everything for now with our Plague Claws, they will be retargeting the enemy range units so that they don't pincushion the poor fragile Rat Ogres. That said, the fragility of the Rat Ogres will combine with the tar pitting of the Skaven slave piles to hopefully make them strong enough to, you know, head off the enemy and keep them in place while our reinforcements arrive with another near 20 stack of more Skaven slaves. And good luck cutting your way through all of them, especially with all of those Plague Claw catapult projectiles dropping upon you. Would be nice if a few of them actually hit the enemy, but, well, actually, I'm just curious here. You have 0 kills and 1,000 damage. You have 3 kills and 3.4k damage. This one did well. 34 kills and 8.5k, and then you've got 8 kills and 7.5k. Yeah, so a lot of them did very little damage, but what can you do? The combination of the high inaccuracy of low veterancy catapults, as well as the fact that the AI dodges all the shots, does make sense. Anyway, we're going to start off with a little bit of Clan Rat summoning via Vermintide and via the Menace below, and not so much to damage the enemy or even to annoy them, but to take the hits from the 2 units of miners with blasting charges that the enemy brings. Now we're going to charge in with our regular Skaven slave piles, especially since the reinforcements are very nearly here in droves, and once the enemy has their own charges spent, we send in the Rat Ogres. We're just going to wait until the enemies lost their bonuses. Plus, this gives us a little bit more time to fire a few more volleys into the enemy Quarrelers and crossbows. And now that they're not dodging anymore, it should be a little bit more effective. There we go. The Plague Rain comes down upon the enemy. The just ludicrous piles of Skaven slaves moving in to reinforce, making my computer pretty angry. Hopefully the mic isn't picking up the angry PC noises. But oh well. Alright, and the Bounce Power has shifted to about 90% in our favor. The Bounce Power. The blasting charges continue to fly at our front lines, killing droves of Skaven slaves, I'm sure, but, oh well. We've got way more where that came from. The enemy has drawn nowhere close to the Plague Claw catapults, who at this point have knocked out 3 out of the 4, about to be 4, of the range units that they were going after. Another Menace below has hit the only enemy artillery crew that was out there, who are fighting to defend themselves and their mortars, but the Clan Rats should overrun them no problem. Alright, and down they go. I wish that it would be nice if, I mean, obviously this is like a feature creep sort of thing, and probably would never see it in this title, but maybe in future titles. I wish that units would have like a little, I don't know, maybe like a little upgrade tree, individual units, give a unit, well, I mean, I know old games you could have captains and musicians and all that sort of stuff, but make it into like a sort of upgrade tree or something like that, or just bring back that whole concept. I was just thinking about it would be nice to be able to upgrade some of your artillery crew with a few, you know, guards there, like decent fighters. Obviously not strong enough to take like a cavalry charge, but maybe strong enough just to see off a couple of units of Clan Rats. Anyway. Not that that would have helped them here, because they don't have enough mortar shells to deal with the Vermintide here. Frankly, we're probably doing more damage to our own gigantic pile of Skaven slaves than the enemy is, but that's all good. That's how you Skaven. And that's how you Skaven win, as the enemy will shatter, and the battle is ours. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure, of course, the Rat Ogres did the lion's share of the damage there, and the droves of Skaven slaves kept them all nice and safe to do same said damage. Alrighty, there we go. The enemy bravely sallied out, but at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, and they did not have the numbers. Outnumbered about 4-1, though it's actually not too horrible, admittedly. They had plenty of troops, but again, 4-1 isn't great odds, especially with Plague Claws firing at you, racking up between 10 and 20,000 damage, and then the Rat Ogres interspersed throughout the main line to dish it out, while the Skaven saves held ground. A lovely work from Bilefitch, our Boom Master. You know what? Heal up because we'll want to auto-resolve, and I don't want to have to fight this again. Alright, another rocket boots. Yeah, sure, why not? Take the rocket boots. And what do we have here? Flayed Tail versus... Oh, right, the -1 loyalty chance. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It is more income from buildings, but I think we'll be fine. Just seize claim it at once. We'll do that again. Screw the Flayed Tail. Any regional power board low errant, but that's mostly both because they had confederated, presumably because they had already been losing. Cool Baktar, Undercity established, and hey, we had... Oh, I've been wanting more Undercities out here in Jarnagrund. Alrighty, Warpstone tokens, Mutagen, DJ... Oh, right, I forgot about that. Well, we'll deal with it this turn. It's not a big deal either way. Also, that was a great job by all those ludicrous piles of Skaven slaves, and while I generally don't like to name Skaven slaves, I do know that we are intending on keeping some of them in this particular army. So, the first two, let's at least name 2 of them. And, well, if they survive, then they survive, and if they don't, they don't. Emergency food, and how about Throts in turns. Lovely. Alrighty, anyway, I think with that, there's more battles ahead and some admin to do, so this is a good time to call it, so I'm gonna call the episode here. Next time, we hunt down Azag with Crocronid. In fact, it looks like he stayed at Dagnapur, which means Crocronid will get the kill of Azag under his belt as well, although, frankly, the defenders are barely existent here. I'm surprised that he stayed. Huh. Frankly, we could just auto-resolve this. He's not even worth it, is he? It's kind of pathetic compared to his other armies. Man, he built all those giants, but I guess we destroyed his capital, so he no longer can recruit those giants, which I guess makes sense. Yeah, just auto-resolve. Alrighty. And, huh. Why? This time it severely damaged the gutter runners, but didn't damage the brood horrors? Why? It's so curious. Every time. It's always something with you, isn't it, auto-resolve? You know, don't raise it, just loot and occupied. I know it's a massive conquest penalty, but at the same time it'll be a little bit of healing, so we might as well allow these guys to heal up so that they can immediately take this next place next turn with a little bit of help from Hellkeek the Insane. And we'll deal with the public order just well enough, I'm sure, without a problem. Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna call it here. Next time we will probably destroy the remnants of the Bone Rattlers. I guess we're gonna have to mosey on down to the Bear's Teeth because they won't peace out with us since we broke all of our agreements. I kind of wanted the irony of leaving them just the Bear's Teeth as they screwed up our plans to have the little enclave of the other orcs there, but whatever. And then we'll continue running over the Kislevites. Maybe what, 1, 2, 3 episodes remaining. 18 settlements still in the Kislevites, and I'm sure we'll encounter at least a few big stacks from them as the legendary lords come back, but we're hurtling towards the end game now, and ooh, looks like Iron Fist is gonna be gone again shortly. Anyway, a couple more episodes, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.